Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Keelan, the bus driver here, and today I wanted to talk about something that I'm sure you guys have probably encountered regarding, customers, and especially dealing with some customers that you might think that are in potential dangerous relationships or whatever. And so, I know it can be kind of like a fine line, especially when you're either doing rideshare, you're picking up people that could be arguing or maybe going at it, or maybe you're dropping off an order, whether it be on a grocery delivery or food delivery, and you probably see or hear some things that maybe make you feel uncomfortable. And so it's kind of like, okay, do you call the police? Do you contact the state? Like, what do you do? And so at what point do you feel like it's okay to contact the police or the authorities, or, maybe the state, if you feel like there's child abuse or sexual abuse going on, like whatever, because I'm sure you probably see and hear things, and I have been in some bad relationships, and so I know what it's like to be on the other side or afraid to say something, or you're so in love to where you feel like the person can change. Like, I've been there. And so I have seen some stuff, especially delivering groceries to some people, and knowing that the woman was in a bad relationship. Like, I just knew it. Like, I knew she was in a bad relationship. I knew the man was abusive to her, probably verbally, mentally, more than anything else, because I didn't see, of course, physical abuses, but, you just know. And, I was in a circumstance like that where I had to drop off some groceries to a customer last year, and she was a frequent customer with Instacart and stuff. And she was disabled, and she was older, like in her late 50s, early 60s, I think. And she was on an oxygen machine. And so, she had to order groceries, but she had a younger boyfriend. He was probably maybe 20 years younger than her, I think. And so I wouldn't really see him too often, but I would always deal with her. And she had like these two little dogs, these cute little dogs and stuff. And she was always nice to me, always gave me good reviews, always tipped me. But then I started to notice that I wouldn't get tips that much. Like, I wasn't sure what was going on, but she just started to change. And her house was never really that clean, but it wasn't like a hoarding situation. It was just, looked like it needed to be cleaned up a little bit. But she was always nice to me, though. And I met her boyfriend once. Actually, I met him more than once, but this particular time I met him, and I remember seeing like he had like this ankle bracelet. But like, I guess when people are in house arrest, whatever you call it, they have like those ankle bracelets, And so, but then this one particular day I came, and well, before I got to her house, she was sending me these crazy messages on my phone. Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Just being petty about some stuff. But, she wasn't like that before, but I just noticed over a period of time, she would just change. So anyway, they had some stuff that wasn't in stock. Like it wasn't even in the store, because they were out, especially with produce, and she would try to just be whatever. So anyway, I get to her house, and there was like chairs all over the floor. I mean, the house was a mess, and she was holding one of her dogs, and the dogs was just shaking. It was just shaking, like really, like just crazy. Like, you know how if a person's out in the freezing weather, it shakes. That's what I thought. Maybe the dog was cold. I was like, "Well, ma'am, you okay? What's going on with the puppy?" She goes, "Oh, he's scared." I'm like, "Well, you okay?" She goes, "Well, me and my boyfriend got into it, and he was arguing, and he sometimes when he drinks, he gets very violent." I was like, "Ma'am, you all right? Want me to call somebody? Want me to call the police?" No, 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 no. I'm okay. It's just, he gets like that. And sometimes when he gets drunk or whatever, he throws stuff around, and, he gets into his temper tantrums and stuff. And by this point, I'm concerned about her. Because like I said, she's disabled. She was on like an oxygen machine and stuff. But, but she insisted she didn't want me to contact anybody. So I drop her stuff off and get ready to leave. And I said, "Ma'am, you sure? I'm going to," and she said something to me. But it was like she took out this money, and she kind of took it out. She kind of waved it, trying to be funny. Like, and she's never did this before. And it was a tip for me, but she never handed it to me like she normally does. So, and she puts it back in her purse. So I'm thinking, what was that all about? So I said, "All right, well, ma'am, you're all set here." And I'm like looking around, and like it was like a mess. And I didn't feel comfortable going back there, but I did contact Instacart and tell them what was going on with that. And so, they took me off of her account, so I won't have to deliver to her anymore. But I was kind of concerned because I could tell that she was one of the people that felt like they would never be able to find love again. Like they were okay with being in a relationship like that, just for the sake of having somebody around. And because she was older, overweight and stuff like that, has, whatever, and also disabled, she probably felt like she wouldn't be able to find anybody. So just having anything was okay. And so, stuff like that was, stuff like that bothers me. And yes, it is a concern for me because, I care about people and I care about their safety and their well-being. And so, at what point do you feel like, okay, should I call the police? Should I call whoever? But ultimately, when a person, of course, is an adult, they have to make their own choices. And so I know it can be difficult when we want to step in and do something or say something, but at the same time, we got to say it in our own lane, and some people make their own choices because that's just what they want to do. And sometimes you got to be like, all right, you know what? That's their choice and that's their choice, unless you just know beyond the shadow of a doubt that their life is in danger. If you see blood, if you see bruises or whatever, there's only so much that you can do. And, I've delivered, like, especially like in like a lot of these wealthy neighborhoods that I normally deliver to in just different areas. Like, I have been in situations where I would deliver the food or like the groceries to the wife, and, the husband would come out and be like, oh, I'm going to tip you on the app. And they never tipped. But the wife would never know that. And so it's like the husband will be in control of the money, but the wife is thinking, the husband tipped, or vice versa, and you never got it. And you have some men that are like that are controlling, and they want to see, okay, is it going to be a male shopper that's going to, or, shop for the groceries, or, who are they talking to? Because, on these apps, we're able to communicate with the customer and stuff like that. And it's also women too now, because there are women that can be just as abusive to men. And so, it's been a concern a little bit for me because, like, I just know when there's abuse going on. And sometimes abuse isn't always just physical. It can just be verbal or mental abuse, or making a person feel like they're less than or not good enough, or, feeling like they can't survive without this person and things like that. And it could just be things that they say to their spouse or their, or their loved one or partner or whatever. And so, I just, you have to use your own judgment and what you're supposed to do when it comes to stuff like that. Because I'm sure that some of you guys have maybe picked up people doing like Uber or Lyft or whatever, and they're going at it in the back seat, or the man is verbally abusing the woman, or the woman is verbally abusing the man, or maybe the child, And so stuff like that I'm very sensitive about, and I hate it, I haven't gotten too much of that, but I have seen a lot during grocery delivery. And so, like, I mean, I'm not going to go on here and tell everybody's business or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, I've seen some stuff, and, and it's a concern for me, and I'm sure that maybe you guys are probably seeing things, or, experiencing some things where you felt like you wanted to step in and say something or do something, but there's only so much you can do unless you know that the person's life is, if you know that that person's life is in danger, of course, then yeah, you might want to consider, the alternatives and stuff like that. But, as far as you have to think about your safety too. So you don't want to step in and then they come at you, and stuff like that. So, some people will attack you because they don't want you interfering in the relationship because they don't want to lose that person. And so, especially when you see a woman or a man in a bad relationship, whether it's verbal abuse or physical abuse or whatever the case may be, the person who's being abused may feel offended that you want to help them because they feel like you're taking their love away. You're taking that piece of them away that they feel okay with. And some people are comfortable with being abused, or whatever the case may be. And so you have to kind of just know your limits and know what to do about that. So my question is, have you guys seen anything like that? Like what have you done, or what do you do in situations like that? And do you ever say anything to the person, or do you ever reach out, or do you ever contact the platform, like whether it's Uber, Lyft, or Instacart, whoever, like whatever platform that you're on, do you ever reach out to them and let them know what's going on? Do you let them know what you see, just in case something happens, and you'll have like a backup? What do you do?